Chosen one, I need you to pause for just a moment. Not because something is wrong, but because something is shifting. Right now, in this exact moment, there is a movement happening in the unseen realm that your natural eyes cannot track. But your spirit has been feeling it. That restlessness, that pull, that whisper saying there is more. You didn't arrive here by chance. The algorithm didn't randomly select you. Your spirit led you here because heaven has been preparing something specific, and the time for its release is closer than you realize. Let me be direct with you, chosen one. The atmosphere surrounding your life is changing in real time. It may not announce itself with thunder. It may not arrive with fanfare, but it is active. It is rearranging what has been stuck. And while your logical mind has been listing all the reasons it cannot happen, God has already been working in dimensions where human limitations do not write the final chapter. I am not here to pressure you. I am here to awaken something that has been dormant. Because when God moves, it often looks like peace before it manifests as proof. It appears as quiet confidence before it becomes public transformation. It starts as a seed beneath the soil before it emerges as a harvest in your hands. Chosen one, you have been living under weight. Financial pressure that keeps you awake at 3 in the morning. Calculating numbers that never seem to add up. Relational strain that makes you question if anyone truly sees you. Emotional exhaustion that has you going through the motions while feeling hollow inside. You have been doing everything you know how to do, and yet it still feels like pushing a boulder uphill in the rain. But listen carefully. That frustration you have been carrying wasn't always punishment. Sometimes it was preparation. Sometimes God was training your hands for increase and fortifying your heart for stewardship. Because what is coming cannot just visit you temporarily. It has to stay with you permanently. You may have felt overlooked, while others seemed to catch their breakthrough. You kept showing up, kept believing, kept trusting, even when your faith felt like it was hanging by a thread. But heaven has been tracking you with precision. That prayer you whispered when you could barely form words, God heard it. That moment you decided to trust him even though your circumstances screamed otherwise. Heaven recorded it as evidence. That kind of faith is not small in the spirit realm. It carries weight. It becomes legal testimony in the courts of heaven that you did not abandon God, even when life seemed to be abandoning you. Now I need to redirect your focus, because this is critical. You keep replaying what didn't work out. You keep reviewing who didn't show up. You keep remembering who walked away. But chosen one, you are entering a season where God is not merely restoring what was lost. He is restoring your voice, your vision, your confidence, and your capacity to receive. The transfer has already begun, not as a fantasy, not as positive thinking, but as a spiritual transaction already set in motion in the heavenly realm, now making its way into your physical reality. I know what you are thinking. How will this actually happen? That question makes your mind nervous because your mind wants predictable pathways, logical timelines, step-by-step instructions, but God specializes in bypassing the middle steps you thought were mandatory. He can trigger unexpected income streams. He can cause people to remember debts owed to you. He can open doors in rooms where you don't have the required credentials on paper. He can release opportunities that didn't exist 24 hours ago. He can give you favor that makes others ask, "How did you get that?" This is not about you being the smartest person in the room. This is about God being faithful to what He spoke over your life before you were even born. Let me share something that might sting for a second, but it is necessary. Some of you have been waiting for God to move while simultaneously blocking His movement with doubt disguised as being realistic. You have been praying for a door to open while keeping your hand on the lock. afraid of what happens if it actually swings wide. Chosen one, God is not asking you to be reckless. He is asking you to be ready. There is a difference between wisdom and fear. Wisdom prepares, fear paralyzes. Now let's anchor this in something concrete, because faith without foundation is just wishful thinking. Consider the widow of Zarephath in 1 Kings, chapter 17. This wasn't a mild economic downturn. This was a famine that devastated the entire region. When economies collapse, supply chains vanish, jobs disappear, savings evaporate. People don't have extra during famines. Yet in the midst of this crisis, God directs the prophet Elijah to a widow, someone with no husband, no visible means of support, barely enough for one final meal. That seems backward until you understand the principle. God wasn't trying to take from her. He was positioning her for a supply that did not depend on the failing system around her. When Elijah asks her for bread, she responds, "I have only a handful of flour and a little oil, just enough for one last meal." That is what not enough looks like. That is what the end of the rope feels like. But Elijah gives her a word from God. If she makes the small cake first, the jar of flour will not run out, and the jug of oil will not run dry until the drought ends. And notice what happened. The miracle wasn't a warehouse of flour appearing overnight. It was a sustaining supply released day by day. In the middle of public famine, God created a private stream of provision. That is what God does. He doesn't always remove the difficult season immediately. Sometimes He creates provision inside the difficulty, so you learn that your source is not the economy, not your job, not your connections. Your source is God Himself. This is why the principle of sowing matters, and I want to address this with clarity and integrity, because this teaching has been twisted by some into manipulation. A seed is not a bribe. A seed is not a magic trick. A seed is not a way to avoid personal responsibility. A seed is a faith response. It is the moment when your hands align with your words, when you say, "God, I trust you as my source," and then you act on that trust. A seed in your hand stays a seed. A seed planted in good ground becomes a harvest. If this message has been feeding your faith, if you want to help us reach more people with biblical hope, you can sow a seed through this channel's giving options. Not because you are obligated, not because you are afraid, but because you are choosing good ground. And when you give, you are also helping this ministry stay consistent in delivering the word that is strengthening you right now. Give only what you can give with peace. Give with prayer. Give with wisdom. And as you give, let it be a private conversation between you and God. You can say, "Father, I release this as worship. I am asking for wisdom with my finances, restoration of lost years, open doors, and peace in my household." But let me be equally clear about this. If you cannot give right now, that does not disqualify you from receiving. God's provision is not a vending machine. Your faith is not measured by your bank account. What matters is the posture of your heart and your willingness to trust God, even when the numbers look impossible. Now, chosen one, let me address something that has been circling your life like a predator looking for an opening distraction. And distraction doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like, "I will pray about this later." Sometimes it sounds like, "This message probably isn't for me." Sometimes it manifests as scrolling endlessly to numb the ache, or overthinking yourself into complete paralysis. But you are not called to live numb. You are not called to live frozen. You are being summoned into purposeful movement. Staying engaged is a decision. Listening is a decision. Receiving is a decision. And your faith is not merely something you feel in certain moments. It is something you choose consistently, There are battles happening that you cannot see with physical eyes, and I want to speak to this with biblical clarity. Scripture talks about spiritual warfare, about principalities and powers, about forces that operate in unseen dimensions. The Archangel Michael, mentioned in Daniel and Revelation, represents God's protection and power in spiritual conflict. You are not alone in what you have been fighting. Heaven is not passive while you are under attack. Some nights you couldn't sleep, not because of laziness, but because your spirit was on alert. That mental fog, that sudden exhaustion, that heaviness that descends without warning, these are not always natural. Sometimes they are spiritual resistance to what God is releasing in your life. But here is what you need to understand. The battle is not intensifying. It is being exposed. And what is exposed can be defeated. When you feel that fog trying to settle over your mind, do not negotiate with it. Return to what stabilizes you. Return to prayer that is honest. Return to scripture that is clear. Return to rest that is disciplined. Return to community that is healthy. Let me paint a picture of how this unfolds so you can recognize it when it starts happening. Because some of you will miss your moment simply because you don't recognize what God's movement looks like. Stage 1 is internal. You begin to feel steadier, less frantic, more focused. You start making decisions from peace instead of panic. You notice you are not spiraling into anxiety as quickly as before. That is not random. That is the foundation being laid. Let me give you specific signs to watch for in this stage. You will wake up one morning and realize you didn't immediately grab your phone to check bad news. You will notice that conversation that used to trigger you now just rolls off. You will find yourself saying no to things that don't serve you without guilt or lengthy explanations. You will start sleeping deeper. Your appetite will normalize. Colors might even seem brighter. These are not small things. These are indicators that something is shifting in your spiritual and emotional ecosystem. Stage 2 is relational. The right people begin to appear, not necessarily new people, but people you already knew who suddenly step into a different role in your life. Simultaneously, wrong voices start to fade, not through drama, but through divine repositioning. Your discernment sharpens. You start recognizing manipulation faster. You stop tolerating what used to drain you. Here is what this looks like practically. That friend who always called when they needed something but was never available when you needed support. They will stop calling, and you will not even notice for weeks because God has been filling that space with healthier connections. That family member who constantly criticized your choices. Either their tone will shift, or you will find yourself less affected by their opinions. You will meet someone at a coffee shop or reconnect with an old colleague, and that conversation will lead to an opportunity you couldn't have orchestrated yourself. Pay attention to who shows up when you are in transition. Pay attention to who offers help without you asking. Pay attention to who celebrates your wins without jealousy. These are your people for this season. Stage 3 is external. This is where most people expect God to start, but He has been working the whole time. Doors open. Ideas gain traction. Opportunities emerge. Provision starts moving. You receive the call, the message, the email, the offer that shifts everything. I want to be specific about what this might look like because many people miss their miracle because it doesn't arrive the way they expected. For some of you, it will be a job offer with better pay and better conditions than what you currently have. For others, it will be a client who pays you what you are actually worth. For some, it will be an unexpected refund, a debt forgiven, an inheritance you didn't know existed, or a business idea that suddenly catches fire. For those in your 50s and 60s, it might look like a consulting opportunity that values your decades of experience. It might be the courage to finally start that business you have been planning for 20 years. It might be someone recognizing your wisdom and offering you a platform to teach, mentor, or guide others. For those in your 20s and 30s, it might be the breakthrough in your career you have been working toward. It might be the relationship that actually adds to your life instead of draining it. It might be the clarity about what you are actually called to do, ending years of confusion and false starts. Don't despise small beginnings. The door might open with a part-time opportunity that seems beneath your qualifications, but that small door leads to the room where your actual assignment waits. The connection might come through a casual conversation that seems insignificant until 3 months later, when it becomes the catalyst for everything changing. Stage 4 is establishment. This is where many people fail even after the breakthrough arrives. You build sustainable routines, you create margin, you establish boundaries, you save strategically, you give generously, you invest wisely, and you become someone who can carry blessing without losing peace. Let me tell you what destroys people in this stage. They get the increase but don't get the infrastructure. They receive the harvest but have no storehouse. They attract the opportunity, but lack the systems to sustain it. Don't let that be you, chosen one. When the money comes, have a plan for it before it arrives. Decide in advance what percentage goes to savings, what percentage goes to debt elimination, what percentage goes to giving, and what percentage you can enjoy guilt-free. When the opportunity comes, have your calendar organized so you can actually manage the new responsibility without burning out. When the relationship comes, have enough emotional health to not sabotage it with old patterns. This stage is about wisdom, not just wealth. It is about maturity, not just miracles. It is about building something that lasts beyond the initial excitement. Chosen one, that is the full picture. God is not giving you a temporary high. He is building you a stable future. Now let me address something for those of you over 40, 50, 60 years old who wonder if it is too late. You look at how much time has passed and think, maybe I missed my window. Let me say this with absolute conviction. God does not operate on the world's timeline of should have happened by now. Moses was 80 when God called him to his greatest assignment. Abraham was 75 when God told him to leave everything familiar and start again. The widow with the flour and oil was not a young woman. These were people who had lived enough life to know that what God was promising seemed statistically impossible. And yet God did it anyway. Your age is not a disqualification. Your past is not a disqualifier. The years you feel you wasted are not irredeemable. God specializes in restoration that redeems time itself. For those of you in your 20s and 30s feeling the pressure to figure it out before it is too late, hear this. Rushing into the wrong thing because you are afraid of missing out will cost you more than waiting for the right thing. Patience is not passivity. Strategic waiting is not the same as fearful hiding. God's timing is not late. It is precise. Here is what I need you to guard against as this shift begins. The temptation to announce everything immediately. When increase starts coming, you don't have to post it. You don't have to explain it to people who didn't pray with you. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Let the fruit speak. Let your peace speak. Let your consistency speak. Some people are faithful in lack but fearful in abundance. They don't know how to receive without guilt. They don't know how to enjoy without expecting punishment. But God is healing that mindset in you. You are allowed to receive good things. You are allowed to enjoy the harvest. You are allowed to rest without guilt. Let me address something specific for different seasons of life, because the enemy's tactics shift depending on where you are. If you are in your 20s or early 30s, the attack often comes as comparison. You scroll social media, seeing peers buying houses, getting promoted, traveling, and wonder what is wrong with you. But chosen one, you are not running their race. Stop measuring your chapter 5 against someone else's chapter 20. The pressure to have it all figured out by 30 is cultural, not biblical. Jesus didn't start his public ministry until 30. You have time. If you are in your late 30s or 40s, the attack manifests as regret. I should have started earlier. I should have left sooner. I should have chosen differently. But God can redeem your should-haves. Your detours weren't delays. They were development. Those 15 years in the wrong job taught you the skills you will need for the right business. If you are in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, the attack comes as dismissal. It is too late. I am too old. My best years are behind me. That is a lie. Your experience is valuable. Your perspective is needed. Your wisdom is rare. There are rooms full of young people with energy but no direction who need what you carry. Age isn't a liability. It is your competitive advantage. And listen carefully, because this is where many miss their miracle. The first wave of increase may come as a test of stewardship. It might be smaller than the ultimate outcome, but it carries the same question. Will you manage this with wisdom? Will you honor God with this? Will you save with this? Will you give with this? Or will you make impulsive decisions rooted in trauma, trying to soothe old wounds with spending? I will be honest with you. Some of you spend impulsively, not because you are irresponsible, but because you are trying to fill a hole that money cannot fill. You are trying to prove to yourself that you are finally okay. You are trying to medicate pain with purchases, but that new car, that expensive vacation, that designer wardrobe, they cannot heal the wound of feeling unseen as a child. They cannot fix the rejection you experienced. They cannot erase the years of struggle. Healing comes from addressing the root, not medicating the symptom. And God is not just bringing you financial increase. He is bringing you emotional healing so you can actually enjoy what He is providing without sabotaging it. Safety does not come from one purchase. Safety comes from order. Stability comes from peace. Security comes from knowing God is leading you and you are stewarding well what He provides. Now let me address relationships one more time. When increase comes, people will return who had no interest in you during the struggle. Some return with genuine growth. Others smell opportunity. You can be loving without being naive. You can forgive without reopening doors God closed. Notice who was there when you had nothing to offer, who celebrated your small wins, who prayed when you were broken. Those are your people. Forgiveness doesn't mean giving someone the same access they had before. They proved they couldn't be trusted with it. I also need to talk to those afraid of success. You have watched people get blessed and lose themselves, so subconsciously you have been sabotaging your own breakthrough. But money doesn't change people, it reveals them. Platform doesn't corrupt character, it exposes what was already there. God is refining you in the process, so when the blessing comes, your character can carry it. That is why the internal work comes first. Let me pray over you now, not as ritual but as activation. But before I do, I want to give you something practical to walk away with. Start keeping a shift journal every day for 30 days. Write 3 things. 1 thing you are grateful for, 1 thing that shifted even if small, and 1 step you are taking in faith. This trains your brain to recognize God's movement, identify 1 limiting belief, and speak truth over it daily. If you have been saying, "I am bad with money," declare, "I am learning to be a wise steward." Your words create atmospheres. Do something that scares you in the direction of your dream. If you want to start a business, register the LLC. If you want to write, start chapter 1. Faith is spelled R-I-S-K. Create a budget. Stewarding little well proves you are ready for much. When you can account for your money, you create space for increase to flow without chaos. Find one person who is where you want to be and learn from them. Success leaves clues. Start giving even if it is small, even $5 monthly. You are training your heart to be a conduit, not a container. Protect your peace, like it is the most valuable thing you own. Because it is, stop arguing with people who will not understand. Stop convincing people who have decided not to believe in you. Now let me speak to those of you who are dealing with very specific obstacles right now. If you are dealing with debt, hear this. Debt is not a life sentence. It is a chapter, and chapters end. List every debt, organize them, and attack them strategically one at a time. Small wins build momentum. If you are in a job you hate but cannot leave yet, shift your perspective. That job isn't your prison. It is your funding source while you build your exit. Do your work well, but use your off hours to build what you actually want. If you are dealing with health challenges, I am going to pray specifically for you, but also advocate for yourself. Get second opinions, and trust that the God who created your body knows how to heal it. If you are lonely, stop looking for connection in shallow spaces. Join communities built around substance. Quality people are found in quality spaces, and become the kind of person you want to attract. Let me also address something controversial. Some of you have been waiting for a miracle when God has already given you the strategy. You have been praying for provision while ignoring the job application. You have been asking for healing while refusing to change your lifestyle. You have been wanting better relationships while avoiding therapy. God will do supernatural things, but He also expects you to partner with practical wisdom. Miracles and methods work together. Don't despise the practical steps. They are not weak faith, they are mature faith. Now about timing, you might be wondering, when will this actually shift? I cannot give you a date. What I can tell you is your breakthrough is connected to your obedience, your consistency, and God's perfect timing intersecting. God's delays are not denials, they are development. The waiting is not wasted if you are using it to become who you need to be for the next level. Here is what separates breakthrough from stuck. The ones who break through keep showing up even when they don't see evidence yet. They keep praying when heaven feels silent. They keep working when results aren't immediate. They keep believing when circumstances argue otherwise. Persistence is essential. Most people quit right before the breakthrough manifests. If you are digging for water and stop at 20 feet finding nothing, that doesn't mean there is no water. It means you haven't dug deep enough. Don't stop now, chosen one. You are closer than you think. Let me pray over you now, not as ritual but as activation. Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift up every person hearing these words. I thank you for preserving them through what tried to break them. I thank you for sustaining their faith when nothing made sense. I ask for clean increase, for open doors, for supernatural wisdom, for discipline that doesn't feel like deprivation, and for favor that brings peace, not stress. Restore the years that were consumed. Restore confidence that was drained. Restore opportunities that were delayed. Restore resources that were blocked. Bring unexpected provision through righteous channels. Bring clarity where there has been confusion. Bring alignment where there has been chaos. Cover their homes, guard their minds, restore their sleep, strengthen their bodies. And where there has been spiritual resistance, I ask that you would fortify their covering. Give them discernment to recognize distraction. Give them courage to follow your instruction. Give them clarity to choose what aligns with your will under your authority. Let every assignment of darkness be cancelled. Let what you have spoken stand firm. Remind them that heaven defends what you decree. Let that reminder settle deep in their spirit, bringing confidence without arrogance, rest without laziness. Chosen one, breathe deeply. You are not carrying this alone. God is with you. And as you move into the coming days, watch for the evidence. Watch for the open door. Watch for momentum building. Watch for favor that defies logic. Watch for peace that settles over you like a blanket. If you have been receiving from this ministry and you want to stay connected, subscribe before you leave. Let this not be a random moment, but the beginning of a new rhythm, a new pattern, a new season of alignment. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are being restored, established, and guided. Hold your faith steady. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart soft. Keep your boundaries strong. Keep your eyes fixed on God. What He has authorized in the unseen realm is beginning to manifest in the visible world. Your job is not to figure out how. Your job is to stay ready, stay faithful, and stay expectant. The shift has begun. Chosen one, receive it.